everybody. Hello. Hey, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming out. It's a great day to be at the Iowa State Fair, and I am really looking forward to some fried food after this. So hello, everybody. I'm Christina Bohannan. I'm running for Congress in Iowa's 1st Congressional District. And, I'm running for Congress because I love our country and I love Iowa. Iowa's values of fairness and hard work have been the guiding principles of my life. I grew up in a trailer off of a dirt road. Neither of my parents graduated high school. My dad was a construction worker, and he worked very long hours in the hot sun, kind of like this, from before daylight in the morning until after dark at night. And even then, it was pretty tough. I remember a lot of times when sacrifices had to be made. I remember when my mom would take money out of the grocery money to buy my school clothes. And one of the happiest days of my life was when we got our double-wide trailer. Because let me tell you, you get a double-wide trailer and you go, oh my God, there is so much space here. It's literally twice as much as you had before, right? And I grew up in the 1970s, so it had that burnt orange shag carpet, so we really thought we were in style. That was one of the happiest days of my life. But one of the saddest days of my life was when my dad lost his health insurance. He had emphysema. He was sick with it for a very long time. And just as he got really, really sick, they canceled his health insurance. And we had never had much before that, but when that happened, we lost everything. Because, back then, that was a pre-existing condition. You couldn't just go back and get other health insurance. We had no choices. The choice was really whether to pay for his medicine or pay for gas, groceries, and everything else. And I think that's when I realized that sometimes bad things happen to good people. Sometimes even hardworking people need a little help. Everybody deserves a fair shot. And as I go all over Southeast Iowa, I love it. I've been meeting so many wonderful people. And what I see is that they love Iowa and they work hard. But a lot of them are not getting a fair shot. We have some of the lowest wages and benefits of any of our surrounding states. Our rural schools are closing. Our rural hospitals are closing. We are losing population out of about 2/3 of our counties, and we have a major workforce crisis. But the thing is, people can't live and work in a place where they don't have a place to send their kids to school, where they don't have a hospital to get the care that they need, where their wages are low and inflation and health care is eating up their paycheck. The thing is, when I go all over and I talk to people, Democrat, Independent, a lot of Republicans, they know what we need to do. We all agree on a lot of what we need to do. The problem is that politics are getting in our way. I believe that the extreme politics and the corruption that we see in this country today are some of the greatest threats our country has ever faced. And, I've always believed in a two-party system. I always believe that debate and compromise make us better and stronger. But what we have right now is not debate and compromise. What we have right now is extremism and chaos. And I am sorry to say that nowhere is that more true than in Iowa's 1st Congressional District and my opponent, Marionette Miller Meeks. Now, before I talk about her, I want to say we have had great representation in Southeast Iowa for a long, long time. Jim Leach, a Republican, Dave Loebsack, a Democrat, they were from different political parties, and they disagreed on a lot of things. But they both served the district with honor and integrity. They told the truth, and they put the people of Iowa ahead of political party and special interests. But I am proud to say that both of them are endorsing me in this race because they know that I will stand for those values and that Marionette Miller Meeks does not. So Miller Meeks has spread more lies and misinformation than we can count. Just about every newspaper in Southeast Iowa has called her out on this. Her own hometown paper, the Ottumwa Courier, has said that she has, quote, a concerning detachment from facts and reality. And they have said that she needs to, quote, stick to the truth. She does seem to have a difficult time telling the truth. She has a pattern of saying one thing to the people of Iowa and doing the exact opposite in Washington, D.C. She's done videos and interviews talking about how important infrastructure and semiconductors are to Iowa. But then she went and voted against infrastructure and semiconductors in Washington, D.C. Those were bipartisan bills, okay? They are going to build roads and bridges. They're going to solve supply chain problems, and they're going to create great jobs in Iowa for years to come. Even Chuck Grassley supported these bills because he knows how good they're going to be for Iowa. Marionette Miller Meeks did what her party bosses told her to do instead of what the people of Iowa need her to do. She has also taken millions in special interest money and then gone on to do their bidding. So take inflation. You know, inflation is real. The pain is real. Our elected officials need to do something about it. When we pay too much for gas at the pump, I want us to remember that Marionette Miller Meeks took a lot of money from the oil and gas industry and then voted against holding oil and gas companies accountable for corporate price gouging at the pump. When we pay too much for prescription drugs, I want us to remember that Marionette Miller Meeks took a lot of money from the pharmaceutical industry and then voted against allowing Medicare to negotiate for lower drug prices. And there are some things that are just extreme. You know, she has said that she would support ending Medicare as we know it and turning it into a voucher plan because our seniors use their health care too much. She also led the charge against giving veterans health care after they got sick from being exposed to toxic burn pits in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, she actually went to the floor of the United States House of Representatives, and she said we should not give veterans health care because it costs too much. I would go to the floor of the United States House and say this: if we can afford to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to send our troops in harm's way around the world, we can spend a fraction of that to take care of them when they get home. And then there's the issue of abortion. And I know this is tough. I know abortion is hard. But the extreme position that Miller Meeks has taken on abortion will actually put Iowans' lives at risk. She sponsored a bill called a Life at Conception bill in Congress that would ban abortion nationwide from the moment of conception with no exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the life of the mother. It's too much. That is not where Iowans are. It's a dangerous and extreme position. Look, this is one of the defining issues of our time, let alone of this election. We must elect people who will defend our bodily autonomy, our privacy, our freedom, and who will stand up and fight to protect the right to choose. In 2 short years, Marionette Miller Meeks has become a slave to her party bosses and special interests rather than a servant of the people of Iowa. Let me tell you something. I ran against a 20-year incumbent of my own party when I thought that neither the Democrats or Republicans were doing all they could for the people of Iowa. I am beholden to no political party, and I'm certainly beholden to no corporation. I am only beholden to you. Here's what I'm going to fight for. You know, when I was growing up and my dad's health insurance was canceled, Social Security and Medicare were lifelines for my family. And as I go all over Southeast Iowa, I can see people are telling me they're lifelines for Iowa families too. I will always fight to protect Social Security and Medicare and ensure access to quality and affordable health care for all. When my family had no choices, public education was the thing that lifted me out of poverty and gave me opportunities I never could have imagined. I owe my life to my public school teachers. I will fight, you bet. Thank you, teachers. I will fight to reinvest in public education across this country at every level, from pre-K and K through 12 to community colleges and universities to skills training and apprenticeships. And I will fight to make Iowa #1 in public education again. You know, I believe in the dignity of hard work. And I believe that Iowans should get more from the work that they do. I started working when I was 14. I've waited tables, I picked fruit, I cleaned other people's houses. And, you know, what I know is that there is dignity in that work, right? The people of Iowa deserve to get more from the work they do. I will fight for better wages and benefits, to cut taxes on the middle class, to help people start and expand their small businesses, and to help our farmers get more from the crops they produce. I will also fight for unions, because let me tell you something. Fundamentally, unions are about making sure that people who work hard get a fair shot, and there is nothing more Iowan or more American than that. For the last, nearly 25 years, I have taught Iowa's sons and daughters, thousands of them, about our great democracy and about the miracle of America. I have also worked on how to promote business innovation and economic growth in a capitalist society. So yes, I do believe in capitalism. They can try to put the socialist label on somebody else, okay? Yes. But here's the thing. I believe in capitalism because it can encourage people to work hard. It can encourage them to bring out the best in themselves and to create and do things that can benefit our country. But corporate abuse can also lead to exploitation of working people, to massive inequities in wealth, and to corruption in our political system. So here's what I have to say. Corporations are not people. We need to get our corporations and our dark money out of our politics. We need to put country over political party and special interest, and we need to defend our democracy from enemies, foreign and domestic. And finally, certainly last but not least, I'm a mother. I will always fight for my daughter and for all of our children, to challenge their minds, to protect them from harm, to leave them a sustainable and abundant planet, to give them a future with freedom, justice, hope, redemption, and possibility. So here's what I want to say. Whether you voted for Trump or Biden or Bernie, whether you're a registered Democrat, independent, or Republican, if you believe in country over party, if you believe in giving every Iowan and every American a fair shot, if you believe that Iowa and America's best days are ahead of us and you are willing to work with me for that future, I would be honored to have your support. Thank you very much.